invisible for everyone.
Imagine this happened to us also. You walk into a room and no one seems to notice. But you ever meet someone who isn't rich or famous, yet everyone notices them the second they walk in? They don't speak loudly, they don't show off, but somehow they glow. Now imagine the opposite. You walk into a room and no one seems to notice. Not because you're invisible, but because of a few tiny habits quietly killing your presence. This isn't a story about beauty, it's about energy. It's about what drains your confidence, slowly, until you fade into the background. And one man's realization that he was doing everything wrong. Wana got explained. Visit channel.
Bro, ever feel like people just don't notice you anymore?
Welcome to adulthood. Everyone's busy.
No, I mean, they look at me but don't see me.
Huh, you sound dramatic.
Maybe, but lately I walk into a room and it's like I disappear.
Maybe you're just too quiet.
Nah, it's more than that. I catch myself slouching, mumbling, checking my phone like it owes me rent.
Yeah, posture of a question mark.
Exactly. And I started wondering, is it me or my habits?
What habits?
The ones that make people slowly step back without saying why.
You mean like the small things that tell the world who we are?
Yeah. And I think mine are telling the wrong story.
That night, Ray went home and stood in front of a mirror, not to admire himself, but to observe. What he saw wasn't ugly, it was careless. Slouched shoulders, tired eyes, a man who'd quietly stopped trying. And that's when it hit him. Unattractiveness isn't born overnight. It's built, quietly, through habits we ignore. Posture, the silent confidence killer. Ray realized he'd spent years shrinking himself. Bent over his phone, head down, shoulders forward. When you physically make yourself smaller, the world responds. So he stood tall, shoulders back, chin up. At first it felt fake, then it became real. Confidence doesn't start in your mind, it starts in your spine. 2. Hygiene, the unspoken truth. He used to skip showers. No one will notice. But people do notice. They just don't tell you. They step back quietly. So he cleaned up, fresh clothes, trimmed nails, clean scent. Not vanity, consideration. And strangely, people started standing closer. 3. Complaining, the energy vampire. He realized he was that guy who complained about everything. Traffic, work, weather, coffee. He thought he was venting, but he was draining everyone. So he stopped turning problems into performances. He faced them and moved on. Soon, people stayed longer in conversations, not out of pity, but peace. 4. Phone addiction, the disconnection device. He used to scroll mid-conversation. Notifications had more power than people, so he started leaving his phone face down. And when he looked up, he finally saw people. Eye contact, presence, connection, attention. That's what attractive people give freely. 5. Interrupting, the ego habit. He used to cut people off mid-sentence, not to be rude, just eager. But eagerness can sound like arrogance, so he practiced silence, let others finish, asked follow-ups. Turns out, charisma isn't in talking, it's in listening. 6. Negative body language, the invisible wall. Crossed arms, closed posture, avoided eye contact. He thought it looked confident. It looked unapproachable. So he opened up, literally. Relaxed shoulders, genuine eye contact. And for the first time, people actually approached him. 7. Talking only about himself, the narcissist trap. He noticed every conversation turned into his story. Now he flipped it. He asked questions, remembered details. When people feel seen, they stay. And the irony? The less he talked about himself, the more interesting he became. 8. Dressing like you've given up. Old hoodies, stained shirts. Comfort turned into camouflage. He didn't buy fancy clothes, just ones that fit, ironed, clean, intentional. He wasn't dressing to impress, he was dressing to respect. 9. Being unreliable, the quiet reputation killer. Say one thing, do another. That was his pattern. So he changed it. Now, every yes meant yes. Every no meant no. People noticed, not with applause, but with trust. Having no passions, the boring default. He realized he'd stopped living, so he tried things. Bad guitar, worse painting, burnt pancakes. But he was alive, excited, curious again. Because passion, any passion, makes you glow. Months later, Ray walked into that same cafe. Same place, same crowd. But people noticed. Not because he looked different, but because he carried himself differently. Confidence isn't loud. It's quiet self-respect. Attractiveness isn't about chasing attention. It's about eliminating the habits that push people away. The mirror hadn't changed. He had. So, next time you wonder why people don't see you, ask yourself, what story is my behavior telling them? Then fix one small thing, because that's how ordinary people become unforgettable.